Talk about the shutdown and what's going on with the Senate and all this craziness. Yesterday or last night, I made a video because I actually wasn't sure which senators it was that were doing this because I saw two different lists and I was hearing all different names. Luckily, some of the ones I was scared were on there are not on there. But I feel like the ones that are on there felt safe enough to do it because Cortez Masto is not up for re-election until 2028. Durbin is retiring. Fetterman is 2028. Hassan is 2028. King is 2030. King is 2030. He's also like 80 or 81, so if he lives till 2030. Rosen is 2030, and Shaheen is retiring. So I think they felt pretty safe to do this. What we would get out of it with this new bill that they've done is the guarantee from Thune to have a vote on the Senate floor about extending the tax credits for the ACA. It's lame, like whatever. They're not going to vote for it. We're not going to get it. And if we don't get it by the end of December, which some states say that end of December is too late anyway to change everything on the premiums and the policies and stuff like that. So, and then some states are saying, no, we can swing it quick at the last second. So we're not going to get it, right? So if we're saying we're holding out for that, like I just don't see in any world where we get it. Okay. And then once we're through December, they can't change them anyway. So I think it's a little tricky when you're like, well, we're holding out for this because once to that point, we can't get it, but people still wouldn't be getting SNAP. So what this bill does do is it funds SNAP through 2026, and it funds the government through January 31st, and then we start this all over again, but without the threat of them being able to hold SNAP over people. It also brings back the people that have been furloughed, and you can't furlough anybody through that time frame through the end of January. He can't furlough anybody. So people would have their jobs during the holidays, and then it says that they would pay people back that didn't get their money during that time, but that's already a law, and I almost feel like they just put it in there because Trump will have to sign it, and he's been out there going, I'm not going to give anyone their money back. So it would just be kind of like an FU, and it would be in writing, and he'd have to sign it against everything that he said. So, I think giving people SNAP money back is a gain. And I start to go, okay, where is the line of where we start? I don't know if it's losing, but, the airports aren't going to be functioning. And that, I guess that's the thing is it we just want to keep it shut down because we're not going to get the tax credits, right? So do we just want to keep it shut down to for me, it's like if we keep it shut down, it will make Trump mental. He's already mental and he's already isolated. He's backed into a corner. But this would send him into another stratosphere, and the ability or opportunity to make a lot more mistakes and Republicans to make a lot more mistakes, that is definitely there. And that is a plus. But if you can't get the tax credits and you're still holding out for them when you can't get them, but then people aren't getting SNAP, I get nervous that will start to backfire. So, and now that these senators have agreed to do this, if we don't do it, then I think we're going to look like real assholes for not funding it. So it's a tricky place now. Because I think Bernie said no and Chuck Schumer said no, but that's also on we're going to keep holding out to get the ACA stuff, and I just don't think they're going to do it. So I don't know, it gets tricky, but part of me is just is it worth it to just totally make Trump go crack out mental where the whole planet can see it, not just people on the left and a little bit on the right? I don't know. So that's what's going on. And even then, if they pass all that in the Senate, that still has to go to the House. Right? And, of course, they're never going to deal with the ACA. And we'll even see if Mike Johnson's willing to do any of it. If he reopens it, then there's the whole pressure about the Epstein files. And I know that there'll be pressure to swear in the congresswoman from Arizona. But I've also heard that he's waiting for a special election in Tennessee where they believe a Republican will win there. And I think then that would remove our ability to force him into releasing those files. As Ghislaine Maxwell's getting special treatment in Texas now, she gets access to a puppy. a service puppy. And she's getting, people can come in with computers, and the warden's office is sending out emails for her, and she's getting her food delivered, probably getting manis and petties in there. So, yeah, that's a whole clusterfuck right there. And then we know that he pardoned like 70 people last night, I'm sure with his auto pen, and one of them, Rudy Giuliani, about overturning the election. So, you know, and then last week we also had Republicans who anonymously, you know, leak out like, oh my gosh, things are so much worse in those files about Trump than we realized. And you're going to see Republicans anonymously, you know, rumors and things like that, because if they're not bold enough to come out yet before the midterms to push away from Trump, that's what these little rumors and leaks are about, especially about the files, because if they can use that to say, oh my God, I had no idea. I didn't think Trump was in there. I thought it was all people on the left. I had no idea. What a piece of shit. They'll use that in the midterms to keep away from him. But until then, it'll be these anonymous leaks like this. So, you know, Trump still has it hanging over him. Sometimes I just forget because he has so many problems right now. And I did a video that he's fucked, and I 100% stand by that. Like, this is frustrating what's going on with the Democrats and the shutdown and all that stuff, but it doesn't change the fact that Trump is out of tools. Narcissists only have a certain skill set, and they don't like grow past a certain point, so they just use the same ones over and over again. And when they stop working, they just start flipping out. They just start smashing things and making up more stuff and bigger lies, and they just go kind of mental. Right? They have the narcissistic breakdown. So that's what we're seeing with Trump, is he doesn't have any more tools. So he's just making stuff up like, oh, I'm going to give everybody $2,000 and you get a car and you get a car and you get a car. And then he'll probably say like, but we're only doing that if Republicans win in the midterms. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. He won by a slim margin, regardless of the fact that he goes out and says he has a mandate. And I don't think he has those margins anymore. I really don't. I think they've lost so many people. If not for his policies, which a lot of them said, his behavior, the Republicans' behavior, I have a whole list that I keep of reasons that I've seen them leave that I'll share, but it's going on 100. So it aren't even all the reasons that you think, and it isn't necessarily money. But a lot of them have broken over Israel. So a lot of them, and I do mean a lot, are just like, I'm out of politics. Fuck it. They're all run by Israel. Screw them all. I'm out. Because when you leave a cult, it's kind of like, if that cult's not true, that cult can't be true, because they think we're also a cult. So you're going to have a lot of people not vote. So they cannot afford to lose the margin that they had, that slim margin. So I don't know. I stand by the fact that I say Trump's fucked. I stand by it. He's going to try all sorts of things, and, you know, I have no idea what the GOP will do. One thing that I have to laugh about, though, is that I know there was people on here saying, the Republicans are shutting down the government permanently. This was always the plan. Do you know how many plans I've heard on here? We also heard when they were did the military parade. That's to seize control of Washington, D.C., and they're going to give it to Peter Thiel. They also said that when the National Guard went into Washington, D.C., and that was also going to be handed over to Peter Thiel. There's always people going, that's always been the plan. When you hear people saying that, they don't know what the plan is. And there's not really a plan. Like, Project 2025 is here, and they ran it too fast, and now they're fucked. Russ Vogt isn't even polling well. Like, none of them are. They don't like any of them. They don't like what's going on. And the ones that still like Trump do not like his cabinet, and they don't like Congress, the Republican Congress. So they're fucked in the midterms. I don't have a lot of worry about that, regardless of what happens in between. So it's just a matter of like how the Democrats want to play this. And if you still really think that this shutdown should, you know, stay put, then you need to call the senators. And then we'll just watch Trump keep throwing shit and see what sticks.